Hi, YouTube.
YouTube is behind.
Usually it's the other way. Yeah, usually it's the other way. Sorry, YouTube. We forgot about you for a second, but you're here now. So
Nothing personal.
No, it's just a lapse of memory. So we're here. Dave and I. Josh was not able to join us this week, but Dave and I are here to do a real good show for you. Real good one. So We're going to start off by saying we have Patreon for those of you that are participating, and maybe this is your first episode listening. We're on Patreon, SouthDakotaGamer.com, or patreon.com/SouthDakotaGamer, rather. And if you'd like, you can head over there and give us $1 or $2 or $10 and say, hey, you're doing a real good job. Keep it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to say, or $1 million, I was going to say.
Hey, $1 million, whatever you want. We'll take any denomination, I promise. There are a few of you that do that. There are a few that do that already, and to you, we would like to say thank you right now. Dave, can you thank those awesome people for us?
Wait a second, Chad. You're wanting me to thank the Patreon supporters from memory?
Yeah, off the top of your head. Go. No pressure.
Let's do it. Number 1, Evan Steele.
Nailed it.
Right? Evan Steele, first Patreon supporter. Great guy. Great Overwatch player and team leader.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think he didn't take that upon himself, but I'm going to give that role to him because he does a good job. Next on our list is I was going to say Kevin. Why was I going to say Kevin?
Oh, Kevin. Thanks, Kevin.
I was going to say Kevin's brother, Paco, but it's Evan's brother, Paco.
Rhymes.
Yeah, it's close.
Okay.
Paco Steele also supporting us there. Also a great player of all games, as is Evan. But, yeah. Paco's really good, too. Next on our list is Andrew Complin, formerly of the sponsor Sarah Complin Childcare, but they have maxed out their limit of children, and now he is just supporting random things.
Oh, is he ever?
Which is interesting. Next on our list is Ryland Dollar, who, as we know, has been on the podcast before talking about Destiny, which I'm sure he's going to have a lot more to say.
Oh, man.
With what's happening now. And last but not least, we can't leave her out. Josh would be mad.
We don't want
And also, we don't want to do that because she's also a supporter of the show, so it's excellent. Cecilia Gwendolyn Choi.
That's a new one. All right. Gwendolyn it is.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So thank all of you that throw us some money, some of your hard-earned money, helps us pay for the hosting, among other things, and we are extremely grateful for that. So let's get into this week. New releases for this week, notable new releases, as I like to call it. We've got a few. Yeah. They're starting to pick up a little bit. So first of all, as Dave alluded to, Destiny Rise of Iron expansion comes out today. At the time you're listening to this, September 20th. That's for those that are into Destiny. This is real exciting. There's a lot of cool things going to be happening. I'm hoping I'm going to talk to Ryland. Maybe he'll do some streaming. I'd like to watch some of the stuff that he does, and he's got a whole group.
I mean, we've got game sharing going on, and I bought that. We've got that.
We do.
I have
not Rise of Iron though.
It just has to download, right?
No,
or is it not included? Oh, it's just the Taken King.
Yeah, this just Taken King. You'd have to buy that, or we'd have to buy that.
I booted it up, as I like to say, in 2016. I booted up Destiny.
Yeah.
And I took advantage of that, like max it to 25, or bring your character to 25.
Spark of Light. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm ready to go with whoever wants to do that with me.
We should totally do that. I would like to be one of those.
But also, I also bought the Handsome Jack collection for Borderlands, and I saw you starting to play Borderlands 2, and I'm like, dude.
I know. No, we're going to do it still. I will start another character.
Okay. Okay.
That's fun. I love that game so much. Which we'll talk about that here in a minute.
We're going to start hitting the backup.
Yeah.
Very soon, where we just have too many games.
Yep.
Because I still haven't even touched Deus Ex yet.
Oh, man. Yeah, I haven't gone back to it either.
Waiting. Well, because I never played Dying Light on Xbox One either. And so I rented that from GameFly, actually. This is way more in-depth than I thought.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd also like to do that multiplayer.
There's so many games. Just too many. Too many good things. So Destiny Rise of Iron comes out today at the time of listening to this. Another big one is NBA 2K17. those NBA games have been real good lately, and I'm sure this will be no exception if you're into the NBA games.
Not EA Sports.
No, they aren't making an NBA one anymore. Yeah. Boo. Next, a DLC, the Death Star DLC for Battlefront comes out today. I
got to say, are you just going to talk about the trailer?
Yeah.
Is that not amazing?
It's real cool.
Gosh, they did so good setting that up.
Little shout out to the other podcast I do, the Star Wars Rant podcast, but we talked about that for a decent time on that podcast because it's Star Wars related. But yeah, you basically are flying out in space around the Death Star, and that's like part one. And then part two, when you get there, you land in the Death Star, and then you go, like into the third person or first person view out of ship. And it looks like there's a trench run in it also. You can play as Chewbacca or Bosk. Those are two new heroes. It looks real cool. I know my son is really excited to play that.
Yeah.
And I am too. So that, like I've said before, my favorite part of that game is the space combat or the X-Wing TIE fighter. I love that more than anything else. So I look forward to try that out. That comes out today as well. Next, not really DLC, but the next chapter, the next episode of Telltale Batman comes out today as well. So if you want to get into the second episode, I know. The second episode of the Batman Telltale series is out today. And then finally, what came out this last Friday, it's not really a game, but you remember that game we all played like obsessively for a good 2 weeks, Pokemon Go? They finally released the Pokemon Go Plus, which is that little teardrop-looking Pokeball that you can wear as a wristband or you can clip it on your coat or whatever, and it notifies you when there's Pokemon nearby. You can collect things at Pokestops just by touching it. You don't have to bring your phone out. That came out this past Friday as well. So, yeah, Pokemon Go is still a thing. There's still a lot of people playing it. It definitely took a dip. I know I haven't played it quite as much as I did, but I used to open it when we go for walks and stuff. So,
well, I broke my second phone. I don't know if I mentioned it last.
I don't know if you did on the podcast.
I've been breaking. Going without a phone for a while. I lost it in Europe.
Yeah.
A couple months ago, and then last month I shattered my replacement.
Awesome.
And so I've been in Canada for the last week, so it really didn't matter because I couldn't use it that much anyways. An iPhone 6 Wednesday.
Cool. Well, that's good. I'm sure that'll feel nice to finally have a phone back.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, those are the notable new releases for this week. If they tickle your fancy, go buy them. Next, we have our No Man's Sky moment.
It's going to be a big one.
So Dave has been traveling, so he hasn't played. I have not played it either, so it's 2 weeks running for me, and Josh isn't here. So there you go, No Man's Sky moment. Done.
There's no Man's Sky moments.
Nope. No Man's Sky. No
Man's Sky moments.
No Man's Sky. All right, so that brings us into what else we've been playing.
Yes.
And this section of the podcast is brought to us by Andrew Complin. Here we go. Josh is going to be real sad he missed out on this one. This is the one he was real excited for last week that he didn't see on the outline. Was actually not correct. So here we go. I'm going to say how I think it's said, and then you can, if it's different than what you think, you say it. But I think it's Synchrodim.
Yes.
Synchrodim? So this is what Andrew is sponsoring this week. You ready? Synchrodim. Now you're sitting here listening going,
it's a word.
I was real excited to hear what Andrew's going to sponsor this week. I've never heard of Synchrodim. And I'll tell you there's a reason for that. Andrew created this word. It's his invention. He has submitted to Webster's dictionary this word for consideration. That's not true. I don't know if that happened or not. Probably not. But you believed it for a second. So you ask, what is Synchrodim? Dave, what does Andrew say Synchrodim is?
Well, according to Mr. Complin, Synchrodim is when two cars meet in the night and dim their headlights at the same time. Meaning, for you laymen out there who don't drive cars, when you have your headlights on at night and you've got your high beams on.
Yeah.
Instead of just regular lights, and you come up on a car, and common courtesy is you turn off your brights so you don't blind the person in the oncoming lane.
Yeah, it's good courtesy.
And so a lot of times, a game where it's like, all right, like someone's coming up, I haven't turned the brights off yet. When's it going to happen? Is it going to be me? Is it going to be him? Should I wait? Have him turn them off? And because I will say this, syncretism has happened to me a couple times.
Yeah.
And there is something magical about it. There's something in the air when that happens, and I don't know how to explain it.
No, it's almost like a nod to each other simultaneously.
Yes. But the biggest reason why I know that magic is there is when you have problems with people not paying heed to that.
And if you don't live in a kind of quasi-rural area, if you're in a big city and there's always lights on the streets, you probably don't use your high beams that often. But when you live out here, like Andrew and I do in South Dakota, you use them often.
Or you drive all over the place.
All over the place, you use them often. So, yeah, when you're coming head-to-head, whether it's a 2-lane road or even a 4-lane road, and you see the bright lights off in the distance, and they don't hurt yet because they're quite a ways away, and you have yours on too, it's that timing of knowing when, okay, we're close enough, it's starting to strain that eye, so I'm going to dim them. And then sometimes, like Dave was mentioning, they don't do it. Either they aren't paying attention, or they don't care, or they've forgotten that their high beams are on. And the closer they get, you're like, oh, they're going to turn it off. They're not turning it off. Why are they not turning it off?
And then you don't want to miss that point where you still have time to turn yours back on.
That's
to
right.
Signal to them.
So like, hey, buddy,
turn yours off.
Turn them down. It's almost like giving them a middle finger. I mean, really.
Right.
It's like, hey, man, you're blinding me. Take this.
Now, let me say this. I have grown to become very cautious in who I do that to, because there is nothing worse than doing that to someone and all of a sudden they turn theirs on.
Yeah, you thought that they were on. I'm so sorry.
I can't see it all.
Yeah,
it's like that scene from Tommy Boy when they can't see, they're just flying around. You feel like you're going to die.
You thought their high beams were on, but indeed they were their low beams.
Right.
Their low beams are so bright. Yeah. And
because I have that happen. I do. I am so observant about brights and stuff when I drive that when I come up on people in the night, I have my finger resting on the switch.
Yeah.
Especially when I don't have mine on, because if somebody, I am
ready to let them know.
I am ready. If they flash me thinking that, because a lot of times I drive a lot of rentals and they're newer cars, so their lights are real shiny regardless.
Sure.
They don't have any of that film that you get after you've been driving around for a long time.
You're almost expecting people to think your brights are on
because it happens a lot with certain vehicles, and so I'm ready to flash them back. And here's something that I do. Here's a little inside knowledge on the way Dave operates his vehicle, because I don't know if there's any scientific fact behind this, but in my mind, like it depends on if you're driving like a Ford or a Chevy or whatever brand of car you're driving, but sometimes you push it the stick forward to turn your brights on.
And it's usually the turn signal one.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes you pull it back.
Right.
It just depends.
Right.
But there are some cars where you push it forward, but you can also pull it back and the brights will still come on, but they won't stay on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for some reason, I think that's brighter than the regular. Really? For some reason, I think it is.
Huh. I never thought of that.
Sometimes I'll be driving down the road and I'll just be going back and forth, and there's no one on the road. I'll be going back and forth from them to see if I can see a difference. And for some reason, I think it's the other one.
When it doesn't stick, just the where you're pulling it and letting it go and it goes back.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh.
Yes.
Interesting.
And so that's what I use when people are coming at me. If they flash me, I pull that on. And it's almost like I imagine that I'm a police officer shining my beam.
Yeah, out the door. Yeah. Got like a spotlight on him. It's like, take this.
But when you're doing that, and because most of the time, especially when you're driving like a hilly terrain or whatever, or just a hilly road, and you can see their lights lighting up the entire. Maybe there's a slight mist.
Sure.
And their lights are just lighting up everything. Their brights are on.
Yeah.
Because when the brights are off, unless you're like have been in a fender bender or something, your lights are pointing more down towards the ground than they are when the high beams are on.
Right.
So when the high beams are on, they'll hit everything. You can kind of tell if it's just some messed up car because it'll have a weird beam going like off to the side. Because I used to have a car like
a bat signal going.
Yeah, I used to have a car like that the lights would be shining, but one was tilted to where there was a spot up in the trees that would light up from my light going like
just in case there's some squirrels up there.
Yeah, something like that. But there is something special when you crest the hill, and right as you're cresting, you dim because you want that other person to see you dim. You don't want them to not think you're dimming unless you're trying to just bait people into flashing you like me sometimes.
Yeah.
But you want them to see you. And when that other person's thinking the same thing and you both dim at the same time, it's almost like you need to pull over
dim
and shake hands.
Yep.
And say, thank you, sir. We are in synchrodim.
You've experienced synchrodim. And obviously you drive a lot. And we're getting that, but there's some psychology there. I really do believe there's some psychology there with just etiquette and how you treat people. But great sponsor, Andrew. Synchrodim. Submit it to Webster's if that is a real thing. You should totally do it. And I think you should get I don't know. They put the creator's name in the parentheses behind the words. They all say Webster, and then I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think any words I've ever seen a creator next to it.
Inventor of word.
What?
Amazing.
I thought that was forever.
Wow. So thank you, Andrew. That this week's sponsor for what we've been playing. So let's get into what we've been playing. Like you mentioned, you've been gone for a while, so you did get to play some. As you mentioned last week, you had your old Vita handy. Yes.
Yes.
Yep. So I'll go first real quick. We talked last week, coming out the night of the podcast recording, BioShock Collection was coming out. And Dave and I have that game, which has BioShock 2, and BioShock Infinite. And I booted up BioShock, and man, I think that's the closest I'm ever going to come to a horror game, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's some horror elements to that game. Like,
oh, yeah.
It came out in 2007, and I want to say I played it pretty much right away. So that's 9 years ago. I've forgotten quite a bit about the game. And so I started it up, and, you crash land into the ocean, and then there's this lighthouse, and just luckily that the steps are there. You're hearing people screaming in the background. It's like, wow, this is messed up. And you go in the doors. You go in these big, giant golden doors into this lighthouse, which is kind of weird. And then you get in, and the door's shut behind you. And that's when you're like, oh, man, something's about to happen. We're about to go on an adventure. And so some guy starts talking to you, and it's the would you kindly guy. And I won't spoil anything, but those words mean something. I started playing, and you run into a splicer right away. And, man, it freaked me out. It's dark, it's dingy, there's water dripping, you're underwater, and there's the splicer. Like, you go into an elevator and you go down. So you're down underwater, and there's a city, Rapture, that's underwater, entirely underwater, 1950s, late 40s, early 50s vibe. And you go down there, and this guy talking to you on the radio, and right away a splicer, this crazed psychopath woman with some weird mask of like a bunny rabbit, but it's a real messed up bunny rabbit. And she's got some knives, and she's talking real weird and saying things, and she comes rushing at the elevator you just came down in and starts beating on the side of it with, like, these knives, and you can see it starting to come through. You have no weapon. You have nowhere to go, and you feel like, I'm going to die before this game even starts. I'm dead. And something happens, and she runs away, but it starts off right away, and I'm like, yeah, I forgot that this is a horror game. It's not really a shooter. It's a horror game, and I like it, and I played for a good probably 4 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, and I really enjoy it. You start getting some powers, ran in a couple of big daddies and a couple of little sisters, and you can make some decisions there. And I just remember going, man, this is as close to a horror game as I'm ever going to come, I think. So BioShock's real good. Still great. Love it.
Except for when Resident Evil comes out. You're going to stream it.
Oh, man. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Then I played, as Dave mentioned earlier, Borderlands 2. He had talked about Tales from the Borderlands, the Telltale game, and the humor in that. I'm just like, yeah, I had some time today, actually. And so I put on Borderlands 2 and booted that up, created a character. We got to, like, level 5. And, man, it's just Handsome Jack is in Borderlands 2. And I was remembering, I couldn't remember how we discussed yesterday or last week with Josh and you talking about when Handsome Jack died, when he was alive. He's alive in Borderlands 2. Right. And you end up fighting him later, but he tells you of his pony made in diamond. which in Tales from the Borderlands you run across him, and the horse's name is Butt Stallion. And he said, I was thinking about calling him Piss for Brains after you, but I decided not to do that. Like, Handsome Jack is real mad at you as a vault hunter. He's killing vault hunters and disposing their bodies on the planet, and then Claptrap is there to kind of clean up. And so you run into Claptrap, take him on a couple missions, and that game's just fun. There's just tons of loot, guns everywhere. The humor is great. It's a lot of fun, and I look forward to playing either that or the pre-sequel, because I never finished that. Together.
I never even played the pre-sequel at all.
We should probably start with that one then, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to playing that game. It's just fun. It's a great shooter. It's hilarious. There's so many missions to do, so much leveling. Like the loot system and the loop for leveling is really rewarding. So that game's lots of fun. I then platinumed another game. Platinumed Hitman Go.
You did? You didn't tell me this.
I did. I sent you a message, but without having a phone and such. Yeah, I sent it on PSN.
Well, I sent a message that I don't know if it got to you or not, but at one point, we were only like 40 or 60 trophies away from each other.
Oh, I didn't see that either.
Yeah, because of my Vita.
Wow.
Yeah. And I still have trophies right now that haven't synced because I can't get it to.
See, I'll talk
about that later.
That was the case
on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I knew that was the case, but so I played Hitman Go, and that game's real cool. It's a little board game.
I might have some platinums.
I bet, yeah. All right, that means you do, jerk. So it's okay. No, it's okay. It's not a competition. It's just a competition. So Hitman Go is real good. It's a board game where you're the hitman.
Who bought that one for you?
That was your purchase. Appreciate that.
And Borderlands 2.
Yeah, Dave bought some.
You got BioShock.
I did. So,
and I bought Oceanhorn as well.
Yeah, you bought like a bunch of like not
I went on
little ones, but like not big $60 ones, but some smaller,
some good ones.
But yeah, good ones too. So Hitman Go's real good. If you like board games and just it's a puzzle, I would definitely suggest that. That was a lot of fun. And then finally,
did you have to look up? I have to ask you this: did you have to look up? Okay, especially I was thinking the first one that I've gotten to where I can't do it in as many moves is the second board, level 10.
I'd have to remember. There's 8 different boards, so
gosh, you played a lot.
Yeah, there's like 3 different. Like it's like Angry Birds. Like you have to 3-star the level to get the best, and you get the trophy for doing all the objectives in all the levels. And so some of them are like in the same level, kill all the bad guys. And don't kill any bad guys. So you have to do some levels multiple times. And then there are some do it in less than X amount of moves. That one, I had to look those up because I'm like, there's no way. Some of those I'm like, I can't figure out how to maneuver myself around and get them in that many moves. So I did look up some. Whether you consider that cheating or not, I don't know. But I used a guide. That's what they're there for.
I would definitely have to.
Yeah.
Do if you want to platinum especially.
Right. So, and then finally, I played Oceanhorn, which Dave talked about last week. The basically Legend of Zelda game, and that I did something similar to you. I didn't play 6 hours or whatever your first time was, but I did play like a good 2, maybe 3, and you just got lost in it. Like you just kept going, and it didn't feel like that much time had passed. It's a lot of fun. And having to do some puzzles and figuring out, what item you need, some boots, and I never did find those boots. But I need to go back and play that again. So that game's a lot of fun, and I won't belabor that because Dave did talk about it last week. So other than that, I don't think besides today, last time I played any game was podcast last week. So it's been a lot of work.
What?
Yeah, a lot of work and not very much gaming. So how about yourself, Mr. Vita?
Well, yeah, everything I played this week was played on my PlayStation Vita.
So do you love it? I mean, we'll talk about that later, but tell us what you
played. I actually bought the game pack from Drinkbox Studios, which did Severed, Guacamelee, and this other game called Mutant Blobs Attack. which I played, got some trophies on. It's just some game where you're this blob and you have to go around the level and pick up all this stuff, and you get bigger and you go all around the levels. It's a little platformer, side scroller. Played Severed, which is a really cool game. It reminds me a lot of like the dungeon of Zelda, except it's a first-person game, and the combat is like Fruit Ninja.
I remember hearing about this.
Slice with your finger on the screen.
Kind of funny.
Yeah, and it's a really cool game. The thing that reminds me of The Legend of Zelda most is the map screen, because you're referring to the map a lot because it's a big dungeon with winding trails and secret doors and levers you have to pull and different keys you have to get. And the whole time you're facing these enemies that you have to, different kinds of enemies that have to be attacked different types of ways, but it's all with your fingers slashing them with this sword that you're given at the beginning of the game. And if you you hit this combo lever meter up, and once you fill it, after you kill the creature, you can you have maybe 2 or 3 seconds depending on how much you level up this skill, because there's also a skill tree involved in the game too. You can cut off their arms and stuff, and you collect their arms and eyeballs and tails from, depending on all the different, you use those pieces to level your skill tree. And you can give yourself more damage, more resistance to enemies, bigger health. You collect health pieces similar to Zelda.
Cool.
Really cool. And then Hitman Go I played, which is just basically the same thing you did, except on the Vita. Very cool. Guacamelee I played, which because of you, when we started game sharing, I had the special edition or some kind of
championship edition, or some kind of special, which
I realized is a separate set of trophies with a platinum.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Interesting.
Because I looked through I did get my Vita to sync one time, and I looked through the lists, and they're 2 separate lists with 2 different trophy lists. So I've played through most of that, and that really reminds me of playing Super Metroid. Just obviously a complete different setting. I mean, you're a luchador.
Yeah. And the disappearing platforms are the part that really got to me. Where they disappear.
The thing that reminds me, you mean difficulty, or something that reminded you of some other?
Both. It got difficult. Okay. That's where it really ramped up difficulty, but it reminded me a lot of Metroid and some other platformers that too.
I don't know where you stopped doing it, but it gets so extreme with that stuff.
Yeah, I heard.
You develop a power where you can switch back and forth, and you can, anyways. But when you get your powers, it's almost like a straight rip from the Metroid. When you would go through the level in Super Metroid, and you'd get to the part where you get a new attachment for your cannon or something, right. And it would be like a big stone bird holding an orb.
Right.
That's exactly what it looks like in this game.
That's cool.
And you go around, and every time you break them, you get a new power, and this goat comes out to talk to you, and it's an old man, and he tells you what power you got, and he's mad because you smashed his golems or whatever.
Right.
Then he turns back into a goat, and he
eats some tacos.
So I played a lot of that. Yeah, I've played quite a bit of that, gotten quite a bit of the trophies. I played some Shovel Knight, that's got cross save in it.
Cool.
Which is weird because from what I've read, cross save, but it's not a synced save. If I go to I have to download the save from my Vita into my PS4. It's
physically?
It overwrites it.
Huh.
And then if I play on my later, it won't be in the same spot unless I
bring it back.
But again, I bring that save back over, and you have to keep overwriting things. So I guess it's kind of the same that way, but it's weird because there were some things I did that I obviously didn't get a trophy for because I had already gotten it done on my PlayStation 4. But Shovel Knight is a hard one too. And then I played some Downwell, which is also, I'm discovering, very difficult.
Yeah, it's addictive though. That game is real hard to stop playing.
Yeah, but it's you don't. you have to do it all in one playthrough, right?
I think
like
so.
Once you lose your lives, you go back to the beginning.
Back to the very beginning, yeah. But it's for me, at least when I played, it's like, oh, I died, I'm back to the beginning. I don't care, and I just keep going, and you just it's really addictive.
Yeah. But anyways, that's what I played. I think I played like maybe 2 minutes of Thomas Was Alone because I also had it on there. But then I decided to go back to another game because I've already played through Thomas Was Alone on my Xbox.
Right.
And I'll finish it or on my Vita or something else. But I had so many other things I had on there I want to play. So
did you platinum anything this week?
It's been good. No.
Tease. You big tease.
I said no.
I know. That's from earlier. You're a big tease.
Well, I mean, I do have 3 flights.
Wow. Lots of time.
And Hitman Go.
Yeah. You're going to have to look up some stuff to get it, I think, though.
No, I've got my computer.
True. All right. Well, that's all we've played this week. So that's going to bring us right into the news that you can use.
If you so choose.
Nailed it. All right. So this first one I don't think we're going to be able to do because you've not seen your PlayStation 4.
I know. I was frustrated about that. When I saw it, I'm like, I've been waiting so long.
So we were supposed to talk about the new
remote played. I would have remote played your PS4 just to look at it, but I can't connect to this internet.
Yeah, well, it's all right. So as the new update for the software for the PlayStation 4, the 4.0 update and the changes that it made, I'm liking it. You can make your own folders. You can put your games into folders, which is cool. It helps you organize things. You can get rid of, you can hide things. So like if you have the Destiny Alpha, for instance, you can hide it so you don't have to see it and scroll through it every time. That's nice. Like looking at your profile, you can look at your games that you've played and the trophies you have much easier. You can see hidden trophies if you like. You can go in and look at those, see what they are. And just the overall look is nice. It's still the same setup at the very beginning. Like that's not any different. It's the same blocks going left and right, and you go up to see the profiles and the friends lists and stuff like that, communities. That's all there still. The one thing I'm really upset, I went to the store, and anytime you go to search something, you get that stupid vertical alphabet that you have to go through.
I hate that.
Which I don't know why they wouldn't change that. So like I was going to look up Battlefront to see how much that was because I was like half tempted to. I'd really, one of my nephews just got a PS4 and he has Battlefront, plays it a lot, and I'm like, oh man, I think it's $20 without the season pass. But anyway, so you have to go B, and then it resets. Then you go A, and then you have to scroll all the way down to T. It comes back up to A. Scroll all the way back down to T again to spell it out. It's terrible. So it's like the worst thing about it, and then it didn't get changed, which.
I don't understand why anyone would have thought that would be a good idea.
No, it's the worst. I mean, at least bring up the keypad or something, the keyboard little thing.
Yeah, it just seems like unnecessary work because it's like, okay, I understand. It's going to type and it takes out letters, but it's like that. Who wanted that? Just let me type it all in normal, like on any of the other things you do in the search bars.
Exactly. Yeah, it's dumb. But anyways, overall, I like it, and we'll talk about it more in depth next week. I asked in our community group how people thought about it, if they were liking it. No, I don't know if anyone just didn't go and look at it, but no one really responded. So if you're in the South Dakota Gamer community on the PlayStation 4, if you're not, go ahead and go over there and join. But if we've
had quite a few people join in the last couple of months.
We've grown a little bit.
I don't think I've seen one post other than you, me, Josh, or Evan. Maybe Jordan.
Yeah.
Or did Paco on there?
I think so. Yeah.
But not very much.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot.
I mean, if you're not, it's not very even for like you can't comment on other people's posts or like them or anything like that. So it's it's a second-rate kind of community, but it's still cool. You can put pictures in there and stuff anyway. But go ahead and go over there. Let us know what you think about the update. If you like it or don't like it, your favorite thing. Next, this is a little news thing I saw today. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out at all or see anything about it, but with the PlayStation 4 Pro and then the Scorpio, this is all the 4K stuff that's going to be going on. It's kind of a big deal. So Scorpio, one of the main architects for the Xbox Scorpio, came out and said most of the games that they're going to be doing specifically for the Scorpio are going to be run natively in 4K, meaning that it will be made to run in 4K on 4K TVs. The PlayStation 4 Pro upscales to 4K, so it's not actually a 4K format. It just upscales it to make it look 4K, and I've heard a very descriptive description of how they do that. And it has to do with the pixels, and it like alternates in the pixels it shows you, and so it's not true 4K. It just makes it look like it. And Andrew House was asked in an interview lately if that's the case. He did say that is the case. Most of the games are going to be upscaled. And they asked him, well, isn't that misleading in your promotions that you said it's a 4K, ready console, but it actually isn't. It just upscales it. It doesn't actually run natively in 4K. And he said,
and it doesn't even upscale to 4K.
Not technically. It's not really 4K. No, technically it's not. And he said, no, it's not misleading. So, I mean, there's a lot more to it than just that. Like that wasn't the end, and then he walked out of the room. There was obviously more discussions there. But I guess I kind of wanted Josh to be here too to kind of talk about this. And not that he's a, expert on the graphic stuff, but I know he has opinions. And I kind of wanted to pick his brain on it too. But the Scorpio, we're a year and 3 months away from the PS4 Pro comes out.
A launch, yeah.
Yeah, so they've got a long way to go, and they can make changes and do things, and that's one of the promises they're making, whereas PS4 Pro comes out in November, so they've got 2 months. And, I think we all understand and would hope Sony probably would admit that the PS4 Pro isn't Scorpio's competition. Like if that were the case, they would wait another year to do it. This is the best console that'll be available probably at the time, to those that have 4K HDR TVs, but it's not going to compete with a Scorpio. Maybe they come out with a PlayStation 5 then. I don't know, but I just wanted to kind of discuss that a little bit and see what you guys thought, if that is misleading or is that disappointing, things of that nature.
It does seem misleading. I mean, it's obviously it's wordplay, but like, what is it really called? What they're actually the resolution they're getting if it's not 4K?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's upscale. Like even when some
4K light.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, 4K free. I mean,
it is. Yeah, it's definitely not comparable to something that is natively on the console, and then that's something that will upscale to it, and the fact that it's really not upscaling to that, so you don't know for sure.
Yeah, well, it's like when you get not so much anymore, but when you used to get Blu-ray players and DVD players, they would upscale DVDs to Blu-ray quality, but they didn't actually get it as good as a Blu-ray would be, but it looked better than just a DVD would straight on a DVD player. I think it's similar to that, which isn't as good, obviously, But all right, so enough about that. Let's move on. Assassin's Creed. We like those games. I know Dave and I really like Assassin's Creed. There is an Ezio collection coming out November 15th. It will contain Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed Revelations, and from what I understand, all the DLC as well. It'll be $60. And you'll also receive a coupon for $8 off a ticket to the Assassin's Creed movie this winter, which is kind of cool. So
nice.
Yeah. So if you want to play the HD versions.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say it's obviously like a remastered.
Yeah, they were HD before, but yeah, remastered versions, I guess.
So they are remastered. That's my question.
Yeah, it's for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4. So all the Ezio games.
Gosh. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not getting it. Trophies, right?
Yeah, I love those Assassin's Creed games specifically.
Yeah.
2 was so good. And then Brotherhood and Revelations would probably take a step down for each one, but I still like them all.
Yeah.
So that's there. Next, another collector's edition. I don't know why I'm mentioning it after last week, but there's a Sonic Mania collector's edition. Sonic Mania is the game that's coming out next year for Sonic, and I put a link there, Dave, if you want to check that out. But it's opening the window here to look at it. It's for those of you, again, whose parents hated you, they did not love you, did not buy you a Nintendo, and you had to play Sonic. There's a collector's edition. It comes with a collector's box, a 12-inch statue with Sega startup audio. So it's basically Sonic holding his fist up with his dumb red shoes on his feet, and he's standing on what looks like a model of a Sega Genesis. And apparently when you push the button, it makes a Sega sound when it starts up, what's that sound? What's the startup sound for Sega? Sega! Is it that?
I thought that was it. Yeah, well, I think that's it.
That's dumb. You also get a metallic collector's card with a download key, and then you get a Sega cartridge cast with a golden ring.
Nice.
And I
Sega
guess probably the game. It looks like what a Sega cartridge looks like, and then it has a golden ring.
Well, no, the part that doesn't look like the Sega is that part extended on the bottom.
So maybe does it fold in, and that's where you keep the ring inside the cartridge?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe it slides in and out. Yeah, it does, because the bottom part is the part it has all the circuitry on it.
Yeah.
But the original cartridge ends.
It's like half right inside.
Yeah, so it must slide inside of it.
Yeah. So if you really love Sonic, you can go ahead and pre-order that. I did not see a price on it, but it comes out in the spring of next year. And it looks, the game is downloadable. So, yeah, you get the downloadable key. That's what's on the metallic key card with the download key. And then you get a box with Sonic standing on a replica Sega that makes noises, and then a pretend Sega cart with a pretend golden ring. That's probably not even real gold.
You pre-order it, and it says pre-order from games, like you can pick your retailer, and I'm going to it right now. It says the pre-order will cost you. Yeah, it would go a little bit faster. Whoa, was that you?
What?
It's playing the audio. It's going Sega.
Oh. Yeah, no, not me.
Now it's playing music. Asked it with the Sega intro. Sega.
So that's what you could get played over and over and over again.
It's like glitching out, and it's not showing. Like
Sonic.
It's taking me to the wrong. It's not taking me to that thing, where it's unless it's in this window here.
I bet it's
bizarre.
It's like $80. If the game's a $60, well, I bet it's more than that. I bet it's $100.
Let me search it.
All right,
Sonic. Hold on, I'll find it.
Fact checking squad.
Sonic Mania Collector's Edition. Here it is. Still no price. Pick up the store. Pre-ordering products for in-store pickup doesn't have any price.
So there is. They have not
wasted all that time.
They've not disclosed the price for this awesome collector's edition.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. $89.99.
Okay, so $90 to get that. So there you go. We spent too much time already on Sonic. Let's move on. Another one I wanted Josh to be here for, Resident Evil 7 demo, which, if you recall, was Josh's game of the year so far. If a demo was allowed at that point, they've updated it.
Decided it was not.
When we said it was not, but he really liked it. They have updated that demo, and there are now new areas that you can go into. It's Resident Evil, and I don't really care, so I've not looked any further. I was hoping Josh, he was going to play it the night that I texted him about it, so I assume he's experienced it, and we'll have a report for us next week.
Nice.
South
look at it too when I get home.
Park next. South Park
I'm upset about this.
Has been delayed into 2017. The
Just
fractured
into here?
butthole, the first quarter.
Okay.
So by March, from what I understand, of 2017.
So I'll just pick that up along with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, sure. Two big RPGs. Why not? Then next we have there are now, Ryland had sent me a message on this. There are now private matches available in Destiny. This was not something you could do up to this point, and the game is 2+ years old, or almost 2. It came out, September, 2 years old. They finally put in private matches, so you can set up your own custom games, play with your friends. And from what he said, it's a blast, having tons of fun. Wishes it had been there from the beginning. So
excellent.
They've been making some changes and some updates, getting ready for the Rise of Iron coming out tomorrow. That sounds like a real good one.
Now this one, Chad, this next one, letter H.
Letter H, the final point.
This is something that I can't say I called it. I can't say that. But I was very certain this would happen.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
And I think this might change my purchase.
Really?
I think I might only get this.
Really? All right. Well,
we'll see.
What we're talking about here is Infinity Ward's Call of Duty get this game this year. Infinite Warfare. As we know, you can buy a bundled version for, I believe it's $79, which will get you Infinite Warfare, and then also the remastered version of Modern Warfare included. Up to this point, that was the only way we were able to get it. Well, now it will also be available by itself. Modern Warfare Remastered, you can buy by itself. I don't know if it'll be the 20. I don't know I haven't seen a cost on it, but what they did say is that it will be available on its own, but it will not have all the maps for the multiplayer. The pre-ordered combo game, which has both of them, will get all 16 maps. The one, if you just get it by itself, will have 10. So pre-ordering the combo version gets you the additional 6 maps.
Which really, for most Call of Duty players, that's not going to matter unless they stick to good ones.
Yeah, they have not said which maps are part of which group. But that's big news that you'll be able to buy Modern Warfare on its own without buying Infinite Warfare, which is surprising. You say you called it, you thought it was going to happen. I would have said and have said, nah, it'll be a year before or at least 6 months before they even separate that out because they want you to buy the new one. But apparently that's not the case. So you really think you won't buy Infinite Warfare? You'll just buy Modern Warfare Remastered?
Well, here's the thing, Chad. I don't really know how this is going to go down because you and I are for sure going to play Battlefield 1 on the PlayStation 4.
Correct.
Now,
I see where you're going, I think.
Our friends that we played Modern Warfare with dropping like flies, like they're falling off the grid. And they're never available to play, and when they are, they play something else, and they don't even invite us.
Shots fired. Yep.
I'm just going to say it. 2 of the big dogs. Right?
Right.
Am I right?
You're right.
I speak for you. You speak for me.
Loud and clear.
Chad Viss, one of the most consistent Modern Warfare players I've ever played with. He rarely ever has a bad game, and sometimes has really good games, but his games always are consistently above average. And I can always count on Chad to be where he's supposed to be, doing what he's supposed to be doing all the time.
Dave Mann, above average player. Above that. Huge games, like big spreads, like kill death ratio 3+ sometimes. He's always there. He's always messing things up. He's always making things happen. Yeah. And there's no doubt when Dave is on your team, you know you can count on him to stir the pot on the battlefield and in between the matches as well.
Yes, because you know how much I love to pour stuff into damp ear holes.
Gasoline on a fire.
Yeah. And then even when I get kicked and I come back on.
Yeah.
The other people's teams that I'm playing and telling you guys.
Yeah, where they're at. He's calling out positions. He's not like other people that fight for the kill death. No, he's helping the team.
Jared.
So you're probably right. Now that you say it that way, I was planning on doing the Xbox for this because that's where the guys play that we know. But you're right. That number has shrunk. Mm-hmm. And if it's available separately, I can think of two off the top of my head immediately that will only buy that one.
Right.
I won't waste time with the new one. So
if I play it, the campaign, because I'm sure they'll have co-op too, right?
I would with which one?
With Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, probably. They have the last.
I would say do this. What about this? Because only one of us is buying Battlefield 1, and one of us can buy Infinite Warfare, and then we can both buy the standalone for our Xboxes.
It's a plan. We might be able to do that. I definitely want to play Infinite Warfare. I think it'll only cost us
$30 on the PlayStation versus both paying $60 or whatever it is. $70.
We'll have to see what they want to charge for Modern. What if they charge $60 for Modern Warfare Remastered?
I can't see that happening. There's no way.
Why not? What if it has a campaign, has all the multiplayer? Why wouldn't they?
They said it wasn't going to have a campaign, didn't they? It's only multiplayer.
I don't know. That's a good point. Maybe they did say that.
I'm pretty sure it's only multiplayer.
Well, if that's
it's not even going to have all the maps.
Yeah, if that's the case, then it shouldn't be 60.
But then again,
it'll be more than 20.
Oh, wait a second. This is not Modern Warfare 2 either. I keep forgetting.
No, this is the original.
Skid Row.
Right.
What's the one they brought over? What are the ones
they brought over? The
one
with the chopper in the middle. I don't remember what the name of it is, but the one with the downed helicopter in the middle of the map.
Yeah, it's like green, and there's a abandoned factory in it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because that one actually went to Modern Warfare 2 as well, didn't it?
Yeah. But it was original,
so it was in both of them,
right? Yeah. They brought it.
That was a good one.
Yeah. So I bet if it's if you look at the game, $60 for Infinite Warfare, and then it's $79, so another $20 for Modern Warfare Remastered. I bet they charge $30. They're going to charge more than $20.
Really?
On its own. They will. Of course they will. They still want you to buy the bundle.
Same. But it's not the same.
Well, they'll let you buy the maps too if you want. I bet you can buy the extra maps. I guarantee you.
Oh, you're probably right.
I guarantee you can buy them, but they won't come free.
You're probably right. That's their way to do it. That's their way for people that don't want to buy the bundle to still almost pay as much.
Yep, to buy the maps.
Yep. Gosh.
You heard it here first. Yeah, instead of $19.99, they'll charge $29.99 and then another $10 for the rest of the maps. So you're still going to pay $40 for the game. Multiplayer only. And then if that works out well, they'll start dividing the game up into entire campaign only, multiplayer only. 3 separate SKUs.
I bet you it'll be
boom.
$10 for the 6.
Yeah, 15.
I bet you they'll do it individually.
Oh man,
you can buy the maps for like $1.99.
So you're gonna be paying. Yeah, so you're gonna be paying 12 more bucks and get a couple extra bucks out of you. Yeah,
we'll see. Sell it for 10 and then do it individual too. I don't know. Who knows?
We'll see.
But I do think that's what they're doing. Yeah, they're just trying to get people that don't want the more anyways because they want the other maps.
Almost punishing them. Almost. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. This is fairly new news as far as today goes, the day of the recording. So we may see more. I'm assuming we'll see more coming here in the next month. Game comes out early November, so we got.
That was new news you can use.
Yeah.
If you so choose.
Lots of rhyming stuff there for you. All right, so that's going to do it for the news. It's going to bring us right into the topics that interest us. So there we have Josh's only appearance in this week's episode, singing a song, singing a ditty, if you will. So this topic, a jingle. Yeah, that's probably more what it's called. Yeah. I actually think that's what I have it titled in the save file. Topics jingle. So, Andrew, our sponsor for, what's the word?
Synchrodim.
Sorry,
I was swallowing a gulp of water.
Yeah, I know. I caught you mid-swallow. That's good.
I actually swallowed so fast and with such force, it hurt the inside of my throat.
Wow.
Somehow like an air bubble or something went down there.
Excellent. So he sent in an email, just like you can do by going to southdakotagamer@gmail.com. Put that in your two line. What's it called? The two section of your email. TO. So Andrew says, guys, wanted to check in and ask how Dave is liking his Vita. Has he tried remote play with it? I remote play No Man's Sky on occasion, and it's kind of awkward, but totally doable. I have PSTV too, but that is far more limited in terms of the apps you can use, which is stupid, by the way. Anyway, I love my Vita, but I wish there was more to do with it. Do you think PS...
Also, I think that's what that's supposed to be.
Well, it could be to all of you. Also, do you think maybe PlayStation will ever release another handheld? And will Microsoft ever release one? Not likely, in my opinion, especially with the PC connectivity. Have a great show, Andy. So, Dave.
Yeah.
How do you love your Vita?
Well, Chad and Andy, I'm liking it so far.
Yeah?
I'm definitely liking it so far. It took my fingers a little bit to get used to because it's like my thumbs are always like bent. I started using the D-pad way more than the left analog stick. My left thumb just to move around because most of those games, it just works well with that anyways. If I play, for example, the Solid Snake or Metal Gear Solid like HD collections, I'll obviously have to use the analog stick more. Or at least I think so. I mean, that's the way I've always played it, with the exception of the first one. But I did get used to it once especially when I moved to the D-pad, and I like held my hands a little bit differently. I've experimented with ways to hold it so I'm not much. But I haven't played in something that small in a while. Maybe it'll just go away. But it wasn't bothering me the longer I played it. So
cool.
The battery life I noticed is not as good as the GameStop employee told me it was.
Liar.
Which I thought it was outlandish.
If he's lying, he's dying. And he needs to die.
He used the words like straight up said you could play it straight for like a week. And I was like, dang, really? Because he's like, yeah, I have the old one. I have the original PlayStation Vita. Like, he was telling me I have every system. I have all these handhelds. He knows what he's talking about, right?
Yeah, it works at GameStop.
I had it on the plane, and now the battery life is still good, but I played it on like a 2.5-hour flight, like straight through. Like, I mean, playing severed, like just going straight through. And when I was done, it was like had a quarter of the battery left.
So a lot less than a week.
Yeah, I've never had to. Like, oh man, I got to plug it in because it's almost dead. It's always been, I've never had an issue with it. And I will say this, last 3 days, I haven't really played it because of how busy we've been. But it's always on. It's just in like sleep mode, and the battery like has not been affected by it at all. It stays.
So does that plug into the wall to charge, or is it a USB charger?
The USB.
Okay.
Now, when I bought it, it came with a little brick that goes to a 110.
Okay.
But I imagine I can my computer or charge my phone base or something. Right. It might charge a little faster with that brick they gave me, but I haven't done any experimenting on it yet. But again, battery life is still good. The games are fun that I've been playing. The games I have, I've seen a lot more in the store that I was thinking about getting. I'm like, I can't. I just need to stop now because I already spent like $40 in like 5 minutes. As soon as I got it, I'm like, I just got to slow down. The one thing that I'm disappointed in, and I don't know if there's a difference between like the launch Vita and the Slim, which is what I have, but the Wi-Fi antenna is not great.
Oh.
I've been having I notice considerably the Wi-Fi signal is very weak when it finds it. And I'm in this hotel right now, and I can't even properly connect to this Wi-Fi here.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and it probably has something to do with the hotel too, but still, I'm in the hotel. My computer's on it, running fine right now. I should be able to get it on my Vita. And when I'm at home, it worked fine, but I don't know. So
maybe it's Canada.
There's that. Yeah, but I got to say, man, I love getting those trophies on the go.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
That's a cool feeling.
It's very cool. Yeah, so I like it. I'm planning on.
So have you tried remote play yet, or not really? Because you've been. Sorry.
What's that?
Have you tried remote play much? remote play?
I did. I got on. I don't know. I can't remember if I told you. I thought I told you. I did log into your PlayStation 4.
Okay.
Viewers at home or listeners at home who've probably heard, if you haven't, Chad and I or game share. And in order to do that, you have to have each other's consoles as your active console. So my PSN name has an active console that's at Chad's house, and his has an active console that's at my house. So when I sign in with my PSN for my Vita and try to remote play, it remote plays just actually Chad's console. So it kind of causes some problems, like if Chad wants to play in his PlayStation 4 and I want to remote play, we can't do that at the same time. So it's kind of weird if you're game sharing, but I did do it, and I did notice it looked pretty good. I mean, it's just like you would expect. It's your PlayStation 4 dashboard and all of your stuff. You can go in there and look at it all. I did for maybe 8 seconds. I started Oceanhorn. I didn't even go past the menu screen though. I noticed the audio lagged a little bit, like it skipped a little bit.
Sure.
But then again, that could have been Wi-Fi.
Right.
So who knows? I haven't put a whole lot of time into it. It is interesting to know that Andrew is playing No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
On his Vita from it. So obviously it works good enough to do that.
This is awkward but doable. So that's interesting.
Right.
So it's not, you haven't thought about returning it?
No.
Good.
Nope.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's a sign of passing with Dave. He's not returning console. He's keeping it. That's a good thing. All right. So let's move on to his second question. Do you think Sony will do another handheld, and will Microsoft ever do one at all? He says probably not.
I think it's pretty obvious to most people that know anything about either of these two companies. I think if one of them does it, it'll be Sony.
Sure.
They obviously have a history with it. I do think it's odd that they just released Vita Colors.
Yeah, at the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, or they're going to really. I don't know when.
2 new colors, yeah.
2 new colors?
Yeah,
I thought there was 5.
Yeah, there's a black one, there's a white one, which they already have. There's a blue one, which they already have a blue one. The new ones are the orange and I think red are the 2 new ones that don't exist.
Is there not a yellow one?
I don't think there's a yellow one. There's an orange one.
Okay.
So
that just seems weird though to do. I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah.
Unless they're planning on still servicing handheld stuff. Why would they even bother?
And it's not like it's a discounted price. It's the same price as they are now.
Yeah. So. Didn't mention anything about the Vita in E3 at all. Didn't mention anything about the Vita in this past what was it? It was
event.
Yeah, whatever the event was called.
PlayStation event.
New York, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, but then they randomly come out with this, which is just weird. Whether going to do it or not, I kind of think may have a little bit to do with Nintendo too. Because I think if the NX does well, I think if it does well, that Nintendo's going to really try to dominate that area. I think they're going to focus on that, especially with them releasing stuff to cell phones now.
Sure.
Like actually putting Mario on the new iPhone.
Right.
Which it's my understanding it's kind of like how the games are doing timed exclusive. It'll come to Android later, but not
right away. Right.
Not at first.
Right.
So that's obviously showing that they're not just willing to, with Niantic or whatever it's called and do the what is it?
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon. Yeah. This is Mario.
Right.
I mean Pokemon is a big deal, but this is Mario.
Right.
Mario, and it looks great.
Yeah, it looks real cool.
Cheesy Mario thing. It's a not an endless runner, but what'd you call it?
Don't remember.
Some type of runner. You said something different than endless. Can't remember.
Constant runner.
Yeah, constant runner. So it looks really cool. Like I'm excited to be able to play that on my phone.
Totally. Yeah.
So to me, it makes me think that Nintendo's really looking at that, and obviously, they've done well with their DS and everything. I mean, Game Boy from the beginning. Was DS or is it 3DS that was the big seller?
DS was huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've crushed it before.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to wait and see. I mean, it's very odd. Sony's been really weird since since really, coming out of the gate strong with the PS4 and having all the success and the sales, then all of a sudden it's like they stop talking about anything they're doing and they just go into the shadows and they're all secret about what they're releasing and what they're doing. And all of a sudden, here's 2 consoles, and all of a sudden, here's the handheld we haven't talked about in forever and we barely give games to. Here's different colors for it.
Right.
Like what?
And maybe that's more for the Japanese market. It's the Tokyo Game Show. I don't know. I'm sure they do better over there, but even still,
yeah, definitely,
still strange. But yeah, I agree with you and Andy. I don't think Microsoft is going to do a handheld. Like Andrew mentioned, they have the PC compatibility in their Play Anywhere thing now. That's not who they are, and they're not going to go that way. Sony, yeah, maybe I'd give them a little bit of percentage that they may do another one, but I think you're right. I think it depends. If the NX is hugely successful and it's a console you can dock at home and take it on the go and it's fantastic, they may try to implement some of that thought process into it. I mean, they do with their remote play. I mean, that's what it is. And, I'm sure there are things that can be done better with it, but if Nintendo nails it, they may implement some of that and say, okay, well, maybe we'll try another Vita or a newer, better handheld as well. Like they may, but again, I think that's somewhere down the road. They got VR to worry about. They got their new PlayStation to worry about. So it's a possibility, but it'll be a while, I think.
Yeah.
So, good topic, Andrew. Thank you, as always, for the good stuff. Well, I think without a third party, Game Scoop's 20 questions is a little difficult and a lot less entertaining to do. So, Dave, it was Dave's week.
Chat.
Yeah.
What if I spring something on you?
Okay.
And what if we make this a thing? Because not everybody can be on the show.
Sure.
What if we do a game where you can go with just 2 people?
Okay.
Maybe
you
it's not as fun
already.
Well, there's also the game that I've heard on the same. We always credit Game Scoop with 20 questions because that's where we first heard it.
Did you like the music, by the way?
20 questions.
Did you like the music this last week? Did you get a chance to listen to it?
I didn't get to listen to it. Yeah,
okay.
I haven't got to listen to any of my podcasts because I always listen to my phone.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I don't have, but they've played a game where it's basically it's not a number of questions, but it's a video game. Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it would be either I pick a character for you or you pick a character for me, and then we ask you questions and try to guess who we are.
Right. Yeah, we could try that out. I didn't think about doing that.
Of course, I've not thought of any characters, but I'm sure we could figure something out right off the bat.
Okay.
And since it was my week, I could pick one for you, and you could try to guess who you are.
So should I take my headphones off? You can say it to the people listening and watching. I will then put my headphones back on, and then continue. I'll go, so they'll know.
Why don't you just mute your audio? That way, it doesn't bleed through it all for you.
Mute the audio,
like on your computer. Just hit your mute button.
All right, mute. Talk to make sure.
And I'll wave.
Yep, nothing.
Hello.
I hear nothing.
Okay. When it's ready, I'll go like this.
How will I know?
You can't see me or hear me, so you can't tell me. Now we can't figure out what's going on. Unmute it.
Okay, I'm going to assume you said it.
Unmute it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We were both couldn't figure out. I will go like this.
And then I wasn't looking.
Yes, you were going like this.
Yeah.
So I'll go like this because I still haven't picked it yet.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to mute it right now.
All right. Okay, folks. So I didn't give this much thought. Who should we pick? We talked about Mass Effect last week. Actually, no, we didn't. That was in the Topics Cast, which you guys haven't even heard, which is going to come out. Let me tell you right now. Friday. That's just a secret to you guys. And Chad won't even know I said this until he edits this audio. But this coming Friday, episode 2 of the Topics Cast, patreon.com/South Dakota Gamer. We talk about lots of crazy stuff. Elevator rides, a Mass Effect movie casting, and poop. You'll like it, trust me. Anyways, who should I pick? I can't figure it out. Let's pick somebody from, let's do it easy one this time. Let's do a Mario character, and let's make it from Mario 2. Let's do Wart. How about Wart from Mario 2? Let's do that. Here we go.
Okay, so I tried to not look at you so I wouldn't read your lips, so I didn't.
Oh crap! Yeah, I didn't think about that either.
I looked away, but I kept my peripheral so I could see when your thumbs went up. So I have no idea what you said. But that was a long time to say a character.
Because I also talked about some other things.
Yeah, I figured. I'm like, wow, this person has a real long name. Okay, so I asked the question. So I feel like I need a pen, but I don't. I'm not prepared. Okay.
Don't get crazy. But yeah, you could write them down too.
So I can keep track. But I don't have a pen handy, so I'm just gonna have to use my brain. Okay, so am I a human?
No,
not a human. Am I an alien? Am I an animal?
Yes.
Do I have scales? Do I have fur?
No.
Oh. Do I walk on 4 legs?
No.
Do I walk on 2 legs?
Yes.
Do I pilot any kind of vehicle?
No.
Do I run? I better not be Sonic the Hedgehog.
If you do, it's very slow.
Okay.
I didn't think of Sonic. That would have been funny.
Okay, so if I do I'm on 2 legs. I'm an animal. I don't have fur or scales. If I do run, it's very slow. Am I an enemy in a game?
Yes.
Okay. Am I in a Mario game?
Yes.
Do I have a shell?
No.
Am I a Goomba?
No.
Okay, so I don't have a shell. I'm not a Goomba. Do I breathe fire?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Am I a minion type enemy?
No.
Am I a mini boss?
Nope.
Am I the end boss?
Yes.
Am I Wart?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool. That's nice. Yeah, that's good.
Nice job. Yeah, I brought up Wart from Mario on my wiki, so it's like Super Mario Wiki, and I'm looking at a picture of him. It's a cartoon picture of him, and I realized I couldn't remember how you beat him. Obviously, it's probably the same.
In his mouth.
You have to catch things and throw them back.
You throw turnips in his mouth. They come out of the organ, and you have to catch them out of the air and then throw them in his mouth numerous times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a good idea. Whenever there's 2
long.
No, whenever there's 2, we play video games. Who am I? Good call. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast. As always, thank you for listening. You can head over to Facebook and like us. You can follow us on Twitter, The Bagel Dogs, or S Dakota Gamer, or Bandy_man. You can see what we're up to on Twitter. Thanks, as always, for listening. Tell your friends if they like video games to listen. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I got a frog in my throat. All right, that's going to do it. This is Chad and Dave saying sayonara.
And it's a pizza. I don't know why I said it like that.
And the pizza.
It's a pickles.
That was pretty good. I got the audio file for It's a Me, my audio, and I played it right before you and Josh tried to say it. It's pretty good. I tried to find his Set to Go, but I couldn't find that anywhere.
Let's go.
Yeah, Let's Go.
I thought it was Let's Go.
Let's Go, yeah, Let's Go. But yeah.
And that's the one that they think he's saying pickles.
Yeah, Let's Go.
Let's Go.
Yeah. It's a pickles.
That's a pickles.
It's a pickle. Let's go. I don't get it. I have no idea. I have no idea. It's a pickle.
It's a pickle.
All right. That's a short one.
Yeah, man. Blazed through it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me open up my Dropbox. I will drop that in immediately.
I might actually be able to get this done tonight.
Cool. Oh, shit. Let me stop my audio.
You always forget. Always forget. Why?
I know.
It's hilarious.
Sorry.
It's like I get Josh's file, my file, and your file is like 2 minutes longer. Whichever one is that, it must have been last week's. Because you walked off and you had to go pee. And you were saying something as you walked away and it got quieter, and then you hear the door go kapunk. I'm like, oh, I should use that at the end, but it was too quiet with the music, so I couldn't do it. Yeah, you were saying something. It was perfect. It was pretty funny.
Hey, you want me to hold on? While I'm figuring this out, I'll open up iTunes and I'll play you the very end of the topics cast.
Okay, yeah.
If
you have it all done. You just have to upload it.
Yeah, it's done. I still have to re-record Andrews. I don't want to leave Sarah Complin in there.
Yeah.
When I get home. Oh, my computer's like pinwheeling. Okay, so
we're gonna have to record the next one real soon too.
Dave 84.
Yeah, 84. Bye, YouTube.
See ya.